Okay people, today I want to look at 2015 question 4, this HSA grid. So it's 225 long and 105 high. So 225 by 105 and the boxes are 15 mil. So grab a 30-degree set square. Use the low slope of 30 degrees. So we want 225. So I'm going to put the dots every 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, 105, 120. Now if you find it hard to count in 15s, you could start off again there and start at 15, 30, 45, 60, 75. But just make sure anyway that it's 225 long and all the dots are 15. I'll just zoom in on that there so you can see maybe a bit clearer for now. And then vertically up we want to go 105. So 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90 and 105. So I want to do another 105 now. I want to do another 105 up here, but I don't need the grids now, or the dots. So 105 and I'll complete my rectangle there. So I want to start doing the grid here now. I'll go a little bit heavier than I would normally like to, because I want you to be able to see these grid lines. So you want to hold the pencil long, really, just at least back halfways anywhere or a bit longer, and it actually you'll draw lighter if you're pulling it, but I want to draw a bit heavy so you can see these grid lines. So there's all my... Now remember, now these are all sloping up at 30 degrees, but these are all vertical. So make sure you've got the T-square tight up against the side of the table there, side of your desk or whatever. And a good sharp point to the pencil. Okay, so there's our grid. Now, so I'm going to do the H first of all, which is full height, 2 spaces and full height. So full height, two spaces, full height. So there's our H. Now, so there's a space between the H and the S. So take your time doing this, but a space between the H and the S. I might see if I can just leave it where you can see it there to talk my way through it. But you'll figure it out anyway, I have no doubt. So it starts over 1. So there's the bottom of it. But I also want down 1 and 2 boxes. So there's the start of it. it comes over 3, one diagonal, so you're just joining the dots on these, then vertical for 2, and another diagonal, then in for 1, diagonal up, and to the right, so there, and out 1, up vertical, now over for 2, and diagonal, and so on. There, you'll, if you count your way around the place, so diagonal, horizontal to the right, diagonal down to the right, diagonal down to the left, and 2 horizontal. So there's H and S, and the A then, I'm going to heavy in the 2 legs of it. So that's the bottom right, 3 boxes of spaces, and there. So there's the bottom legs. Now the top is 2 in and then 1 heavy. So 2 in and 1 heavy. And I would recommend, so we're just joining the dots here. And then I want to come down. Okay, so in 1 box, and that goes to the top right. So I'm going to draw that now. It goes heavy for 2, and then light for 1, and heavy for, I can't draw this heavy a while, I'll show you why now. And it's the same then going to the other side. It's in 1 here, going to the left on top. So it's heavy for up 2 lines, then it's light for 1, and then it's heavy then until it meets the other sloping line there. So now I can go back and heavy this in. So there's the top of the A, the triangle in the center of the A, and the bottom. So now I'm going to pause this and put some colours on it, because we still need to deal with the thickness. That needs to be extruded, to use a CAD word, and to be given a thickness of 10. Okay guys, so look, you can pause the video there just to put some colours on them, because it makes life easier. Now we need to give this a thickness now. So what I'm going to do is I'll just start with, I think the easiest thing to do is start with the letter A, and we're going to take, it's easier to start with the right hand side and the top. So let's just deal with that first. Now the thickness of this is 10. So I want to put those lines coming upwards at 30 degrees. And let's measure 10, and we can heavy in all those edges back 10. And there's the top. And here is the side. Now, what's more difficult is the inside leg here. And if I zoom in on this here for a second, a little bit. Now, I know that this comes in 10. But, how to get the slope here? Now look, if you know how to do parallel lines, that's the easiest way to do it. Because the slope at the front is like that. So the slope in here, if I slide the set square along, that's one way of doing it. But now I'll show you another way though. When I measure in here, because I'm going to see in here as well, and I measure 10. Okay, so I want to put the same slope there, but so I can line that up between this dot in 10 and that dot in 10. So I'm going to see that line up to here, then it stops and it starts again. And I'll see that line up there. I know this looks a bit tricky, but when I finish off the front of it now, so whatever slope is at the front, you'll get the same slope at the back. So there is our A now finished. So I will now just get, I suppose I could do that with the set square, but it's a bit slow now and I'm not. So I'm just going to guess these lines like freehand here going back. Now, if you wanted to put a stopper there, okay, so there's the thickness of our A, just to the inside leg here, the slope and the horizontal bit there. Okay, so there's our A done. So again, I always do the right hand side first because that's the easiest. You can see that. So I'm going to take my lines back here light. Okay, now when you're doing these for a while, you'll realize that along the top here, the 10 thickness goes all the ways back. So that is the top of the S lines up, or the inside of the S lines up with the inside of the A and the H. So there is the top of the S. And then it comes down vertically, so whatever it does at the front, it does at the back. So now I'm going to measure my 10 again here now. So there's kind of two ways of doing it. You can do it by measuring 10s and joining the dots, or you could just measure and use angles. Okay, so if I know this is coming in 10, and if the front goes vertical, I'm going to try and use a combination of both so people will learn both ways. Vertical. Now I could use angles here now, but you have to understand how to do sliding set squares to get parallel lines. So that goes to there. So I'll heavy these in. These edges and lines of intersection really. Now the front is a 30-degree slope, so the inside. So there is that much. Now the slope up here, here, I'm going to use sliding set squares for that now. So that's the slope at the front. So now if I hold the T-square steady, move the set square along, that's the same slope at the back. And that is a lot of the S done. I still need to do the leg of it down here though. So that comes in 10. And parallel, so if the front is sloping like that, so is the back. Or the inside. So I'm going to just put some lines on this now as well. Okay, so there's the thickness applied onto the S. Now finally we'll do the H. So I already took the lines back for the top, so I can just draw them heavy. Now don't heavy in if you're not certain. Okay, just draw light unless you're absolutely certain, because it's difficult to rub it out. So there's some of the H done. So I'm going to see this bottom leg coming in, and I'm going to see this line of intersection here, this angle in here. So that comes straight down from here. And then if the front is going like this, the back is going over here until it disappears. That is the thing. Some of these there now, you can see this. So now another way I could have done it, I will just show you another way I could have done that, even though I can't see that, is I could have measured back 10 and put a dot here where I can see it, but I could have drawn towards that dot until it disappears. That's another way I could have done that. So now, what's left? This bottom corner down here. Okay. Now, let's put some hatching lines on this, or just lines to make it look like it's extruded. Okay, so that question there is from the Junior Cert 2015 ordinary level. And these questions are great questions to get you used to drawing vertical and parallel and thinking about 3D and 2D and stuff like that. So they're great questions and your light lines and your heavy lines and some measuring. So there's loads of skills and needed for graphics involved in these questions. So hope you get along well with that. See you later, guys. Good luck.